So in this video we're going to be talking about the Victure HC400 trail camera. Let's get to it. So yes then guys, so I'm going to be talking about the Victure HC400 trail camera, and as you've probably seen from my other previous videos on the Victure range, Victure was kind enough to send me some of these to review and test, and that was off the back of me doing the HC200 some 10 months ago. They saw the video and they wanted me to have a look at the other range, and I was glad to do so because I do love these cameras. I've had a couple of other brands in the past and I've had nothing but issues with them, but my Victors seem to be going strong. Before I do that though, I just want to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas and thanks for your support over the last year. It's been a fantastic ride for me, lots of new stuff coming up in the new year, and this will probably be the last video now, unless we go out this weekend. It'll be the last video until after Christmas. Don't forget to check out my other channel. There's a little card up here, and that's got all this stuff behind me, the reptile stuff, the spiders, the fish, everything is on that channel, so make sure you head over and check that one out as well, especially if you're into sort of wildlife and the weird and wonderful, the exotic pet world. It's definitely a channel for you. I recently got a mature pair of a Hensies, or for you guys there, the Oklahoma brown tarantula. And bearing in mind I'm an arachnophobe as well, so all them spiders behind me, and I'm an arachnophobe. You wouldn't believe it, but they're fascinating creatures, so go check that channel out. The other thing, please like, subscribe and share this channel, because it again helps me out no end, and there's always something for everyone on this channel. There's the paranormal, urbex, tech reviews and things, so if you're into all that sort of thing, subscribe and you'll never miss a video. So as I say, this one is all going to be on the Victure HC400 trail camera. I keep wanting to say action camera. I'm so used to using action cameras, but no, this one is the wildlife camera. This is the 400. It's the biggest one in their range that's available in the UK. There is also a 5 and a 600, but that's only available in other countries, or a direct export from China. So these are the ones that I've reviewed over the last few videos, are all the ones you can get in the UK. So that's the HC100, 200, 300 and 400. Now I'm not going to lie, I left this one out last night. I'd done the other two videos yesterday, and unfortunately this one didn't capture anything. Okay, I think I've ironed out some of the bugs, because I set it up earlier this morning again to give it another go, and it did record fine, and we'll look at that footage in a minute later in the video. So this is the 400. It's here on Amazon, and if we look at this, it shows us £50, so it's the most expensive in the range, and it has got quite a lot of features very similar to the other cameras. It's got a 12 megapixel quality photograph, IP66 waterproof. It's got a 2.4 inch LCD screen and a 170 degree protection area. Again, loads of features, you can play around with it, and on Amazon it's got you know, fairly good ratings, 4 out of 5 stars. So yeah, it's doing well. The Victure range in general, if you look on Amazon, they're generally between 4 and 5 stars. Not many people having issues. The people that are having issues, when I look at the comments on the reviews, it's down to glitchy and lagging playback. Now that isn't really down to the camera, that's down to the memory card you're putting in the camera. If you're using a lower class memory card with low read and write speeds, you're going to get that, because the trigger on these is very quick. It's less than half a second from when it detects something to when it starts recording or taking pictures, and if you haven't got a memory card, it's not going to keep up with that, and the speeds and the quality of the capture that this has got, so 1080 or up to 10-12 megapixels, you know, you're not going to get the quality on playback if you're using a lower class memory card. So my advice, say I've always used them, is the Samsung Evo cards. They're really cheap on Amazon. I think you can get them as low as sort of £6 each. I'm always buying these, and that's the 32 gig Evo card. It comes with the adapter. The smaller one, the HC400, takes the micro card. These larger models take the full size card, so if you've got a micro one, you know, you'll need the adapter for it to fit in there, and it just slots in the bottom there. So that's that. Again, this one is one that takes 8 AA batteries, and I must admit, out of the ones that I've tested, I do prefer the HC300, because the batteries, there's a waterproof cover down here, and they slide in rather than having this plastic cover on the internal workings. Now, I think the issues I had last night is the batteries have still got some water on. I think that water may have got into the batteries. That's why I had the issues last night. So if I was to say anything about this camera, it would be I would change the design of the batteries. I'd have them going in the bottom with the waterproof clip shut cover rather than this flimsy plastic one inside. And bearing in mind, this is the most expensive and meant to be the better one in the range. It's a design feature that I think does matter, so I'd say that. Also, the interface on here, again, I would say it's pretty much the same as the HC200 with the layout and the way it's all set up. And again, I'd probably go for the way the HC300's laid out with the push buttons and the bigger screen. That's the way I'd personally go, especially if it's the most expensive in the range. I think the design could be slightly better. But let's just have a quick look at again the features of it, and then we can have a look at the footage that I captured on it. Right, so this is the camera. As I say, it's the HC400. In the box, again, you get the camera, your instructions, a mounting strap, and a sort of a permanent tripod mount if you wanted to screw it to a fence or on the wall or something like that. It's a very, very similar casing and design to the HC200. It's got the big cage on the back for going around sort of round trees and fence posts and things. It's got the tripod screw at the bottom, also the 6-volt input if you want to mains power it or power it with a power pack, etc. On the front, we've got the infrared LEDs, the camera lens, plus the wide angle sensors there for the trigger, and it's in the Realtree sort of camo design, like all the cameras come in. As I say, on the inside, you've got your 8 AA batteries in there. Battery life for these cameras is generally not an issue. My HC200 has had the same batteries in for the last year, so there's no issues there. Memory card slot here, a USB for firmware updates and getting your footage off onto a computer, or you can obviously just take the memory card out and get it from that. And again, you've got the same sort of layout down the bottom here. You've got your off, you then slide it onto test to do any of your sort of stuff that you're doing, so changing settings, that sort of thing. There we go, that's on. And again, it's all a very, very simple. You have to excuse me, I'm doing it one-handed now. So you press menu, that brings up your menu. You can change the modes, the photo size. So I think it's a 12 megapixels max, right down to 5. So you can change that to save memory and stuff like that. Again, video size can go from 1080 right down to VGA. Again, I've got it set on 1080. You can choose how many pictures, up to 3 pictures in sequence. I've always got it set on 2. Your video length as well, you can change, just depending on how long you want the clip to be. Again, I generally have it on 10 sort of seconds, 10 to 12 seconds. your intervals for, you know, between each setup. So every time it takes a picture, you can choose a different interval for the next lot. Change your shutter speeds, timestamps and things on there, and all that. So again, it's a very easy to use menu. And then when you're ready to set the camera up, you would switch it from test and just switch the switch over to on. You get a little countdown to say it's priming, and at the same time the LED on the front flashes, and then it's set and primed, ready to go. So as I say, this is pretty much a HC400 with a slightly bigger camera, and also the sensors are slightly different, but all in all it is a HC400 in a slightly bigger case. So that's the sort of the main features of the camera. As you can see, I mean, any of you that have had the HC400 will recognise it's a very similar design. The newer models, the HC100 and the 300, both have a different sort of style on the back plate. They've got those little sort of spikes that help keep it steady on a tree, and a different sort of way of mounting the straps, which I think personally looks neater than this cage on the back. And also I just think that the general camera design is cheaper than the other models, and considering this is the most expensive one in the range, I think it should be the other way around personally. But again, the footage is pretty good. I had that issue last night with it not recording overnight. Again, I think maybe some water got in, or maybe it was my own fault, I didn't set it up right. But I've had a few of these, so I've never really had that issue. I should know how to work them by now, you'd think. But I mean, let's have a look at the footage now. I've got a couple of video clips here. Let's find them and I can put them up. Right, here we go. So as you can see, this is the footage I captured this morning on the HC400. Seems really good, nice and clear. Got the birds eating some crumbs there. You can see the cars driving past. There's no glitches in the footage. The birds are moving really quick, and again it is smooth, it's clear, and I think it's pretty good. And here's a couple of stills now that it took. As I say, I've got it set to take one picture in a 12-second clip. So there's the pictures. So yeah, I mean, I personally think it's a good camera. I think if I had the choice and I was to recommend one to you, I'd probably say the HC300 is the better model. I would also then say, if you want something more compact, go for the HC100. You know, I'd say this HC400 and the 200, although they are very capable cameras and very good and very well made, I just think that this is slightly outdated. The cage design on the back, the way the menu buttons are laid out, I think is much better on the HC300. And yeah, I mean, I'm not saying this is a bad camera at all. I just think that the design is not a £50 camera design, if I'm being honest. The footage is still good. It worked very well when I had it out this morning. I've spoken to Victor about the issues I had last night, so we'll have to wait and see what comes of that. But yeah, I still think it's a very capable camera, and I think if you wanted a much wider range for your detection, because it's got the 3, you know, then this is the one to go for. Again, each camera has a different buyer in mind maybe, but as an all-round camera, I personally recommend, if you check out my video on the HC300, I'll put a card up here, check that video out. I think that is the better camera of all the Victor models. So yeah, check that video out and see what you guys think. Now, what I'm probably going to do is, if you like and leave a comment on this video, I'm going to do a giveaway. It'll probably be with the 400 actually. Like and comment, and I will, at the end of January 2020, so not long now, but at the end of January, I will pick one of them comments and you will receive this camera. Again, thank you very much to Victor for sending me these cameras. It's been a pleasure sort of trying them out, and I know which one I prefer, which is the HC300 and also the HC100. They're my two favourites out of the range. I think the quality of the footage on those are brilliant, and also the speed in which they work is fantastic, and they're sort of the slightly cheaper models. So yeah, I would suggest the HC100 if you want a smaller camera, or the HC300 if you want a full trail camera. So check them videos out. You can see them on the tech review playlist here. Subscribe to this channel here, as well as my other channel, the reptile channel, is also there. You can go and check that one out, subscribe to there. It would mean a lot to me. As I say, I wish you guys a very, very Merry Christmas, and please don't forget to like, comment and share this video, and I will see you guys soon.